Okay, let's run.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it.
It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
Greetings, salutations. This is, and I quote, a weekly show where we introduce to some of the best creators from all over the world, and we find out more about them by taking your questions. I am your host, Ryan of And Quote Channel, and our guest on this week's episode is indie writer extraordinaire S.N. St. Clair. That's a long name if I ever heard one, but she's here and she's in the building. Hello, darling. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, it's Star Wars month. What's to complain about? We're fine. We're all fine here. No, thank you. How are you? We're starting to slaughter. We're happy that you. I can't help it. I'm wearing a Star Wars shirt for Pete's sake. But we're happy that you are here, SN St. Clair. We're also happy that you are here, or maybe watching or listening to this right now. So do not forget to like and share. If you're watching us live on the replay, thank you for doing so. If you have any questions for our guest of honor, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. More than happy to take this as coming respectively. With that out of the way, SN, what would you say were some of your favorite books or writers growing up as a youngling?
Oh my gosh, I have so many probably favorite writers. Back when I was a kid, I was reading a lot of like the Saddle Club series, Bonnie Bryant. And growing up, my family was super into pretty much any kind of thriller, mystery, crime, Dean Koontz, James Patterson, Stephen King for sure. So I would definitely say that Stephen King is one of my big ones. I actually share a birthday with Stephen King. So I always kind of say that's a fun little side note, but is definitely my biggest and favorite is Stephen King for sure.
Ooh, the creepy one. Okay. I mean, he's written some thrillers here and there. He's only been doing it for like 50,000 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing it forever. I actually have a copy of what's the book that we got over there? Oh yeah, it's The Gunslinger. I got a copy of The Gunslinger. Now I haven't read it as of yet because my TBR list is 600 miles deep. Thanks a lot, TBR. But yeah, thanks a lot. But I'm looking forward to reading it because that's one of the shorter Stephen King novels. So I think that might be a good jumping off point for me to be introduced to Stephen King as a writer.
Yeah, I would definitely say that. And a book called Misery is another one of his good ones to kind of first start off. But definitely, It, and they called the movie Stand By Me, but originally the book was called The Body. So that's probably one of my favorites, aside from Pet Sematary as well. I mean, those are just a few, but and you can't forget The Shining.
Here's Johnny. Yeah,
exactly.
Darling, light of my life. I'm not going to hurt you. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I said, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm just going to bash your brains. I'm thinking to myself, that's still the same thing. But anyway, sorry. I saw The Shining once, and that was enough for me because it's too much. It's too much. I just couldn't do
Really?
it. I watched all of it, so I know what happens in the beginning, the middle, and the end. I did finish it, SN, but I just can't go back and rewatch it because of how just messed up and creepy it was. I don't know.
When I first started reading the book, I watched the movie first. And, as a kid, I didn't understand how everything was working and how exactly, the little boy, the stuff that he was going through. And then the guy at the hotel, it's kind of hard to explain, but it was just super confusing in the beginning. But once you actually read the book, then it makes a lot of sense of how they were actually communicating and how that guy knew to go back up to the hotel and check on them. So it's definitely worth it to read the books.
Fair enough. By the way, speaking of which, because we brought up his name earlier, and speaking he shall appear. Tyler Brown says The Gunslinger is absolutely amazing. Love the Dark Tower series. I do eventually, at some point down the line when I'm 150 and still going, I hope to read the Dark Tower series because I've heard really good things about it, and I'm intrigued by the premise of that. So, and I know the Gunslinger involved, the Man in Black is involved, all that stuff. So I am curious, Tyler. I am curious. By the way, I like your user profile picture there of the Cap Shield because we just did a 10-year anniversary watch along a few weeks ago, actually, SN, of Captain America: Civil War. So.
Oh, we just started watching all of the Marvel movies over again.
Really? So I take it you started from the beginning. Where are you at now?
What did we finish on? Oh my gosh. I don't remember which one we finished on, but we pretty much created a playlist of all of our movies and watching them in order. And we just finished I don't remember I think it was Thor, but I could be off. I think my husband might have been watching some without me, but I mean, I wasn't super into watching all of them, like religiously with him, but I do really enjoy watching those movies.
Nah, that's fair. There's some really good ones too. Yeah, we did a 10-year anniversary for what was it, Captain America: Civil War. I believe it's. Am I not? Yeah. So later on this month, actually, I think it's the end of this month of May. We're gonna be. This is outside the MCU, but it's still a Marvel movie, just not part of the MCU. We're gonna be celebrating 15 years of X-Men First Class.
Oh wow.
Yeah, 15 years.
That's crazy.
Tyler, where the heck is the time gone, brother? You're killing me. Honestly. And I just got a text from Tyler saying, "Oh yeah, I'll be tuning in for this episode," which he's referring to this. So yeah, of course, because you're already here. But
He better be here.
he
I
is.
know where he lives.
Like I said, he's sitting right there. But anywho, it's all right, Tyler. You're not being called out negatively. But I get it. Some good titles there. Some titles I want to add to my TBR because, like I said, my TBR list is like 600 miles deep. It's deeper than the Marianas Trench, Tyler. But all good things. What would you say are some of your favorite TV series, past or present?
Oh my gosh. I am a very big lover of comfort shows. I enjoy watching new movies and new TV shows that I haven't seen before, but there's just always something about going back to something that you already know what's going to happen. And we've watched all of the Stranger Things, the original 5 seasons, but there's a new Stranger Things series out called Tales of 85. So just started watching that. It's a little interesting. Obviously, it's kind of similar to the original, but there's a lot that is different about it as well. So I've been watching that and kind of just watching a bunch of random movies here and there. We just watched a comedy that came out recently. Was kind of silly, but and then I would really like to go and I actually just found out about a theater called 4DX that I would really like to go see something there. So just kind of pretty much hanging out and looking at everything that is going to be coming up. But I also enjoy watching Family Guy. I mean, South Park. How can you go wrong with those? I'm a child at heart too, and I still love watching SpongeBob, but haven't been watching too much TV as of lately.
I gotcha. Shut up, Meg. Sorry, that Peter, what are you doing out there? Sorry, Family Guy apparently has infiltrated my pop culture brain cells. Hey, Brian, there's a message in my alphabet. It says, "Ooh, Peter, those are Cheerios." Anyway, yeah, there's too many clips to count. That's for sure. Mom, mommy, mama, Lois.
Oh,
Lois.
yes.
Yeah, you really want to get under somebody's skin. That's how you do it. You basically just kept saying Lois, mom, mommy.
Oh yeah, my friend and I are constantly. We always have those SpongeBob stims that we do.
Oh really?
Just a line from SpongeBob that we'll just randomly say, and it's kind of hard not to do it.
Yeah, and it's funny because SpongeBob infiltrated the MCU when Iron Man looks at one of the bad guys and says, "Earth is closed today, Squidward." And I'm like, really? You're pulling SpongeBob out of your? Huh? Didn't see that one coming. But then again, that man's playing Galaga. But we did.
But as an adult, you don't realize how much you relate to Squidward now.
You're probably right. I might need to rethink this. Honestly, I may need to rethink this after this show is over. I'm not sure. I have to think about that. But still, you mentioned a few, but do you have any other favorite movies, past or present, that stand out to you?
Definitely Stand By Me is one of my top favorites. I'm also have always been a huge lover of the Pirates of the Caribbean or Caribbean, however you pronounce it. All of those movies, that's probably my favorite. And of course, you can't skip any of the classics. I really like The Outsiders and Dirty Dancing, and then of course Titanic. I am kind of a lover of more of older type movies. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the newer stuff. The new stuff doesn't have as much character, not as much personality. So pretty much any of those older ones are definitely going to be my favorite.
When you say older ones, I thought you were going to bring up the 40s and the 50s, like the Maltese Falcons or the Casablancas or Charade, or what was the other one? To Catch a Thief, with Cary Grant and Grace Kelly.
I mean, well, it's not that old, but I mean, something that my dad would watch would be like Quigley Down Under. That's a movie that I would still like to watch, or watching, a lot of the old TV shows too might be kind of closer to there, like The Rifleman, Leave It to Beaver, a couple of those shows. Yes.
Let's not forget about the B word, guys. Not that B word, the other B word. But not, there's other B words out there, but we're not going to use them here on this show. No, it's family around here, guys. But no, some good titles there. And just give everyone a healthy reminder, this is and I quote. Don't forget to like and share. If you have any questions for our guest of honor, SN St. Clair, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. We're going to take us to the and thank you to everybody who has commented thus far. So when did you start writing?
I started writing. I've always loved writing. I mean, I would come home from school as a kid, and the first thing I would do is I would just go down to the family computer and just start writing these random stories. But I remember as a child, I started writing this kind of series called Coyote and Bear, and I don't remember a whole lot about it. I kind of made it with my best friend. It was, instead of Sam and Allie, it was Coyote and Bear, and it was just all of these different adventures that they would go on. And I never really picked that back up. Obviously, being super young, it doesn't really fit into what I do now. But I then later, when I was about 15, I published a book that I've since taken down. Now that I'm older, it's like I want to go back and rewrite it and kind of make it a little bit better than it was when I was 15. And then I pretty much officially started to continually self-publish back in July of 2024. So almost 2 years now that I've been self-publishing, and I'm on my 7th book that is coming out in June. So I've been writing for a really long time. I've just always loved it. And, I gotta, of course, like you've already done, but I gotta give a big shout out to Tyler, because he and I went to school together, and it was kind of one of those things where it's like, if he can do it, I can do it. And it's been an amazing, journey alongside Tyler. Just feeling like I have somebody I can relate to, for sure. So I've been writing for a really long time.
It's pretty extraordinary. With all that being said, and the relationship that you have with our good friend Tyler, I mean, we got to give you one of these.
Yes! Hell yeah! Hey, come on, baby! Come on! Yes! Come on! Ah! Yes! Yes!
I mean, that's got to be the reaction to that, because that's just dynamite. Teamwork makes the dream work. That's one thing we've learned in our many eons on this planet known as Earth. But when you got supportive friends like T.G. Brown, how can you honestly go wrong? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that guy's got enthusiasm for days. He's got a wonderful, wife with Ashley, being the marketing master that she is. So, yeah, it's kind of like looking at a dream team, isn't it?
It is for sure.
Yeah, it's kind of like moonlighting, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's a reference from TMNT, but I like that. Randy has a question in the comments. He says, was there someone who really inspired you to continue with writing as an adult?
I would say that, my parents for sure, especially my mom. I mean, I would go and I would write stories and have her read my stories, or even just write stories that she probably still has. And she's pretty much been one of my biggest supporters pretty much with anything in life. She's always there to push me and, tell me that something is really good and that I should focus on doing it. And I would probably say that aside from her, of course, Tyler has been a big one again as well, but just pretty much all of my friends. I mean, everybody that I know and that I talk to knows how important writing is to me. And so I also just hold myself accountable to be one of those people.
There you go. One step at a time. No problem with that. It's funny you mentioned that you're all about writing as a youngin'. When I was a youngin', when I came home and I was on the family computer, it was to play Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego? Well, listen. It was either that or some of those other games that we played. What was the other one? Like Oregon Trail and anybody remember Oregon Trail and you died of dysentery? Anybody remember that? Yeah, that happened a lot, guys. There was that, or it was to come home, race home, put my bags down or backpack down, go into the kitchen, fix myself something to eat, whether it's a sandwich or a bowl of cereal, okay, SN? And then I would sit myself in front of the television set, turn on a little thing called Fox Kids Network, and watch Power Rangers and Batman and Spider-Man and X-Men and all these other things. You see what I'm saying? Because the 90s were lit. The 90s were where we got to be living, man. LIVIN. So those are some good times. So I may not have been one to sit down and write, New York Times best-selling stories like yourself, but still got the pop culture inside of us, don't we?
Yeah, I wasn't really like that. I mean, as soon as I got home, I did homework first. It was always homework and then play. And play was, my writing. There were even times that I remember I would just go to practice writing, and I would go downstairs and I would write down, or not write, but type out all of my classmates' names on the computer, and just pretend and, practice the writing aspect of it.
Oh my goodness gracious. What a superstar we have in our midst, ladies and gentlemen. It is true. Fantastic, by the way. Fantastic. What would you say are some of the rewards about being a writer?
I would definitely say, for somebody like me that has always struggled with anxiety and OCD and just the craziness in the world, something about writing that allows me to, when I can't be in control of stuff that's happening in real life, the thing about writing is I can control every aspect of it. I can make it exactly how I want it to be. I put myself in my character's head and I live in another reality. And I would say that that's probably one of the biggest and greatest things about being able to write and be a writer, is just being able to put myself there and not think about what's happening in real life. I can control every aspect of it.
I can totally agree with you on that, because the real world is scary. The real world is dark. It's messy. It's disturbing. It's messed up. 6 ways to Sunday. But when you're sitting at a computer screen or a notebook, people use notebooks all the time. It's perfectly natural. And you're writing a story. You're in your own world, and you make the rules. And it's fun to play by those rules to a certain extent. Am I right? So you got that. You put together your characters. You're setting the obstacles that the main character that has to overcome. You get the really good antagonist that throws a wrench into the plan. So it's always fun. It's always fun to mix up the genres too. Never hurts to do that. At least in my experience, with some of the stories I got in the pipeline that I'm, in the process of writing. Some of them, 1 or 2 of them, I think are in the the editing phases right now, or revising stages. I think that's what it is. Yeah. So I got that and a few other things. I don't know. I got so many ideas on my brain. It's absolutely insanity. But the flip side of that coin, though, is what would you say are some of the challenges about being a writer?
I would say that, to me, there isn't a challenge with the writing itself. I think the biggest challenge, and probably anybody can agree with me, is marketing. Being how back in the old days, if you were an author, you pretty much always had to go through an agent, go through a publishing house. And nowadays, with so many people self-publishing, you can just go on to Amazon and you click a button that says publish my book. And it's a huge competition, and it's trying to be able to get yourself through all of those hazards and try to get yourself out there and above everybody else, because again, like I said, it's such a big competition. So I would definitely say that marketing is going to be the biggest struggle. I don't really feel like I struggle with anything in the writing or the editing or anything like that, but definitely the after portion.
I understand that. It's a big world out there. There's only, marketing is difficult. There's so many writers out there too, and everyone's jockeying for position. That's another thing we got to keep in mind as we go along this crazy journey known as life. Life. Oh, LIFE. Yeah, that life. Okay, gotcha. So, any other pieces of advice you would offer to aspiring writers out there?
I would have to say that, there's a lot of people out there that have reached out to me, and, they say, how do I get started? And I'm afraid to do it and things like that. And, I'm a firm believer that every person's story is worth writing about, and every author is unique in their own way. So if there's people out there that are saying, I don't like this book, or I don't like the way you write, or things like that, I try to remind them it's okay, because you're a unique person, you're a unique author, you write how you want to write, and the people that adore the actual you are going to follow along with you. So definitely don't be afraid to be yourself and get yourself out there.
What is it? The old saying is the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
For sure.
So, there is that. There is that. That is for certain. So many other things to be said about that. What have there been any special memories for you so far, whether it being at book signings or other events, or have you not started that journey just quite yet?
So, like I mentioned, I've been writing since 2024 and starting the publishing journey, but I've only since the beginning of this year started to really branch out, get my website going and doing several other subscriptions, email service, things like that. I did my very first book signing ever in February of this year. And then this podcast is pretty much the second event I've done. I have my third event coming up. It's a book fair, over here in Oregon, and it's going to be my first book fair. So still super new into all of this stuff, but I'm really working my way and trying to get out there and be seen.
And you will. It's gonna happen, guys. It's gonna happen. It's gonna just, in the words of Shia LaBeouf, just do it. Do you remember that? Do you remember that the thing he did, the green screen, whatever the heck it was? Do you remember that?
Yeah, he has like his arms. He's like,
he keeps crossing or flexing his non-existent muscles there. Do you see?
Yes.
Make your dreams come true. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler puts a little spin on that and says, "Just read it. Read the book."
Oh my God! Don't give him ideas.
Well, I mean, I hate to say this, but Tyler, if you're looking for ideas, man, call me. I got some ideas you may want to flip through. May want to look through. I don't know. Maybe SN St. Clair and I can give you some guidance on that. I don't know. But
I can already picture him doing that. He's probably practicing it right now.
He probably, yeah. He's either practicing that or he keeps on, whatever else. Oh, he says that's a great marketing idea. See, we just entered the Marianas Trench with this one, SN. So beware. It's yeah, Tyler, I wouldn't be surprised if you give me a call sometime this week, or you just text me, be like, "Yo, let's talk about this marketing idea. I want to go through the logistics." I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And then he says, "Practicing my Shia LaBeouf impression right now." Okay.
I told you.
Here's the thing. The thing I didn't expect Tyler to do, at least early on in his marketing portion of his career, is when he says, "Hey guys," bangs his head against the camera, or he takes the book and hits the camera. When he does that, like right as he's about to do a take. I don't understand it, Tyler. I don't understand it, but it's funny to a degree. So,
I mean,
I don't know.
This is the same guy that wanted to be drowned in a lake. So,
jeez.
I mean, just to create his trailer.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you credit, Tyler. I'll give you credit. So I'm just curious. We have a book here I want to share with everybody, if you don't mind. So this bad boy right here, The Forgotten Girl, which, by the way, very intriguing cover, very mysterious, could creep some people out, give us some nightmares, or maybe just intrigue us to pick up the book, because they say never judge the book by the cover, but yet we do it all the time. And this is a really good cover. So for anyone who's not familiar with The Forgotten Girl, what exactly is it and how did it come about for you?
When I first started writing that book, it was something entirely different, but as I was going, it was just everything was flowing so nicely. And it's about a troubled girl that goes to a summer camp. And I don't want to give too much information away, but you find out that she has this imaginary friend, and she meets other friends along the way at summer camp. But at the same time, she meets some not so great friends, and something happens at that camp. And later on, 7 years later, when that abandoned camp has been purchased to be reopened, there's a lot of kind of more supernatural things that are going on. And, deciding how I wanted to write it was just, like I said, everything just kept coming and it was flowing perfectly. And being somebody, as I kind of mentioned earlier, we all deal with our own issues. We have mental issues and things like that. And I kind of feel like being able to discuss and talk about a story like this can be very helpful for a lot of people that are going through that same stuff. There's always going to be other people out there that have similar stuff, and so it was kind of a way for me to get some of that feeling and some of that relation of feeling it towards myself getting out there.
Interesting. And it's really interesting. So yeah, and I'm some, many chapters in. I like what I've read. It's creepy, it's mysterious. One kid's trying to help the other. The other one's trying to understand, why am I here, and why is this why is this situation going on? Why are the camp counselors acting strange? I don't know why. But it's intriguing. So I got a bit of, I'm trying to think. I don't think this is necessarily, this is just my opinion, by the way. I'm not stating this as fact. My opinion of this is it's a little bit, just a tiny bit of, what's the television series that was on many years ago? It was called Without a Trace. Without a Trace. Kind of reminds me of that. Also reminds me a little bit of X-Files. Just a little bit, just a tad, in terms of its mystery and the intriguiness of it all. And what's the real motive of the camp counselors here? Because we don't quite know that yet. It's early on, for me anyway. And so I'm getting a mix of Without a Trace, X-Files. There was a TV series called The Forgotten. I know there was a movie with, Julianne Moore called The Forgotten that came out back in the early 2000s. I don't know if anybody remembers that or not. So I got a little bit of vibe of that. And it just kind of reminds me of some of the movies we've seen over the years about missing people, missing individuals, or maybe something strange was going on. We weren't quite sure what the answers were at the time. So
yeah,
that's what it kind of reminds me of.
Yeah, and something that, people are probably going to be questioning kind of early on, who thinks that their child is at this camp, and, why is nobody looking for her? Well, you find out later why, and it's a lot different than what other people were thinking was going to be happening.
Yeah, that's a good point. By the way, Tyler goes on to say, I got to give the people what they want. Tyler, here's the thing. You do give us, as an audience, you give the people what they want every single day you're on Instagram, because you're on it constantly. And I do mean constantly. I don't know how you do it, by the way. Considering the fact that you have a full-time job like the rest of us in this building, I'm just thinking, okay, you work 80,000 hours a week for a job that you respect and you dedicate yourself to, which, by the way, kudos to you, man. Kudos to you. Everything you do out there, there's no doubt. But the fact that you're still able to go to the gym and look like a demigod, as your wife says, and then you do these crazy wild videos where you're banging your head against the camera, or you're throwing a book at the camera, or doing X, Y, and Z. I'm just thinking to myself, how does this guy do it? I don't understand it. I really don't. But hey, that's why we love you, Tyler. That's why we love you, because you're an enigma. You're a mystery wrapped in a riddle. Or as Elaine would say about Newman, or Jerry would say about Newman, yeah, he's a mystery wrapped in a Twinkie. Which I don't know how Tyler feels about Twinkies, but anyway, oh Lord, no. You know what? Just for kicks, SN. I'm just curious. What's your favorite snack?
Oh my gosh.
Do we have a favorite?
It depends. It depends on when you ask me, because I'm a sucker for chocolate chip cookies. I mean, I will take chocolate chip cookies any day of the week. But, sometimes it just happens where I'm like, I really want a piece of cheesecake. I mean, I love my sweets. I absolutely love chocolate. I mean, I can't go wrong with a chocolate chip cookie. I think I'm going to have to go with that.
Okay. Which is, hey, it's tradition. Chocolate chip cookies have been tradition for many years. And there's nothing wrong with that. What else is the fact? There's nothing wrong with you checking out this great episode of And I Quote. Don't forget to like and share. If you have any questions for our guest of honor, let us know in the comments, let us know in the chat. Tyler goes on to say, you both are awesome. Thanks, Tyler. We aim to please.
I know.
We aim to please, Tyler. We aim to please. And then another individual here, the best way I can pronounce this person's name is Freedom. He says, awesome, great job. Okay. Hey, see, everybody's doing a great job around here. In the words of Jimmy Bond, we aim to please. Where's the girl? Find her. Sorry. I grew up on JB. I grew up on James Bond movies. I don't know have you seen any of the James Bond movies or no?
I saw them a super long time ago. I mean, I don't know how it came about, but as a kid, I always wanted my nickname to be 007. I don't know. I mean, it just came about. I was always 007 between my friend and I.
Does that mean your friend was 006?
No,
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 there was no subsidiary name. No, okay, I'm just kidding.
no. Hers was Durango, but that was completely not even
Okay.
same,
Which
not
is
even similar.
yeah, you're right. It's a completely separate thing from the other one. So I understand. It's funny when you say Durango. My mind got a little twisted there, and I was thinking of that character from that indie film called Tombstone. Did you ever see Tombstone?
Of course.
I mean, Johnny Ringo looked like somebody just walked over your grave. Fight's not with you, Holiday. Oh, I beg differ, sir. Start a game we never got to finish. Play for blood, remember? I was just fooling about. I wasn't. Anyway, we can talk about. Speaking of which, do you have any, aside from Quigley Down Under, do you have any other favorite westerns?
Well, that would probably be one of my favorite movies. The Rifleman is probably my favorite TV show of a Western. You're asking me this question and I can't even think of any Westerns. I can't think of any. I do really like Tombstone.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I can't think of anything else at this time. It's
okay.
brain fart.
No, it's okay. Here's a few of mine. The Quick and the Dead with Sharon Stone is really good. The remake of 3:10 to Yuma with Christian Bale and Russell Crowe, I think, is completely underrated. Hostels, which was another Christian Bale neo-western, was very, very good to me. Very, very good. Very, very good to me. So if you haven't seen Hostels, I'm trying to think. Was it? Oh gosh, was Scott Cooper directed that one? Tyler, remind me. But yeah, Hostels is really good if you haven't seen it. It stars Christian Bale, the one who played in Gone Girl. What was her name?
Oh gosh,
Gone Girl. Rosamund Pike. That's it. Rosamund Pike, and Wes Studi is in Hostels. Just to give everybody some context here. That's really good. Let's see.
I guess you could. I don't know if you would call it Westerns, but there's Back to the Future 3. And there's also City Slickers.
Yep. I prefer City Slickers 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold, over the original City Slickers, mind you, which, I get it. But yeah, Back to the Future 3 still counts as a Western. Sure, there's time travel in it, but who cares? It's still a Western. Why? Because it has all the Western tropes and all the Western, caricatures in the same movie at the same time, SN. And that's what makes it so wonderful and charming, especially when those three dudes are sitting in the saloon, or heck, just giving some, funny one-liners out to Marty and Doc. He says, with this automobile, does anybody walk or run anymore? Yes, but we do it for recreation, for fun. Run for fun? What the hell kind of fun is that? I mean, it's just, come on. It's great. It's great. It's fantastic.
For sure.
Especially when Marty says his name is Clint Eastwood and Mad Dog Tannen looks at him and says, what kind of a stupid name is that?
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, that is not a stupid name, man. That is pure Western if I ever heard one, man. Are you serious? And then his goon walks over and says, "Will you take a look at this guy's pearly whites? Man, they're definitely not store-bought. Hey, what about those moccasins? What kind of scheme is them? What's that right? Was it Nikkei? Was this kind of Asian talk or something?"
He was also Calvin Klein, technically.
Exactly. That's 100%. He was known as two very different individuals. Well, that is your name, isn't it? Calvin Klein. It's written all. I guess most people call you Cal. No, most people call me Marty. By the way, how long have you been in port? Excuse me. Well, I guess you're a sailor. That's why you wear that life preserver. Coast Guard.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it honestly, let me put it to you this way, SN. The Back to the Future is one of the most rewatchable, greatest motion pictures of all time. It just is. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly acted, perfectly directed, perfectly edited. I mean, there is nothing wrong with that movie at all.
No, honestly, not at all.
There isn't. No, honestly, there isn't. And, particularly, I mean, you could say what you want about the beginning of, Back to the Future Part 3 being a recap of the first two movies, and then they eventually, get him into the Wild West, and, it's a bit of a slow start, but, it's still a good movie. And to me, Back to the Future Part 3 is the best of the sequels.
I agree.
Yeah, not counting the original, but of the sequels, Part 3 is the best. Are you there, Eastwood?
I loved Biff.
Who didn't? I mean, it's 8 o'clock and I'm calling you out. It's not 8 o'clock yet. It is by my watch. Let's settle this once and for all, Ron. It's just,
Did you know that he also voices a lot of characters in SpongeBob?
yes, Thomas F. Wilson. Yes, the actor. Yep, I've been hearing a lot about that over the years. Actually, that he voices numerous characters in SpongeBob. So I might have to do a bit of research on that. If he ever comes to a convention, I could pick his brain about that. Of course, I'm going to have him sign my Back to the Future Blu-ray set because it's freaking Back to the freaking Future. So,
Oh, for sure.
I mean, it's kind of a, what they say, SN. It's kind of a no-brainer. So, I mean, it's ironic because the actor from Highlander in Mortal Kombat, Christopher Lambert, who played Highlander, and then he was also Lord Raiden in the original Mortal Kombat movie from 1995. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Yes.
But he's going to be at a convention that my friends and I are going to at the end of the month. And as soon as they announced him, I said, wow, I don't know if I should be wearing a, Highlander. There can be only one. Or, a Mortal Kombat shirt. But since I grew up more so in Mortal Kombat, long before I ever saw Highlander, with all due respect, I bought myself a Mortal Kombat shirt so I can wear it when I meet up with him and we get our selfie together. It's going to be great. So
that would be my choice.
yeah, because I grew up on Mortal Kombat, and I remember watching that movie on VHS so many times as a kid. So many times. I mean, the soundtrack alone is iconic, right, SN?
Oh, for sure.
So iconic. And Kari Hawayuki Tagawa, who played Shang Tsung, your soul is mine. I mean, come on. Come on.
I was more of a Scorpio character to play.
You mean Scorpion?
Yeah, Scorpion, sorry.
Yeah, you said Scorpio. I'm like, that's an astrology.
Close enough.
You're getting there. You're getting there. Let's see. Alexandria says, I totally agree with you about newer movies, SN. They just don't have the same pizzazz.
No.
That's a good point. Alexandria, that's a good point. Alexandria chimes in with that one. That's a good one. Thank you by the way, thank you for everybody who chiming in. This has been excelente as one might say. Well, let me put it to you this way. Who is a writer, living or dead, you would love to have a conversation with? Living or dead?
I think I would still have to pick Stephen King. There's just the way that he writes and the stories that he comes up with, it's so out there. I mean, I'm the kind of person where it's like, I have so many things that go through my brain that I have to write down on my phone. And sometimes I reread them and I'm like, I don't know if I should write about that. But I feel like this, Stephen King probably had something similar, but now he has all these super awesome books and movies. So I think I'd have to pick him for sure.
Fair enough. You mentioned Misery earlier. I didn't see the movie Misery until recently. I think it was like a year ago. I finally watched it for the first time. It's a very good movie, but as soon as she takes out that sledgehammer and does the thing, I'm thinking to myself, oh, I could not have been on set when they were filming that day. I couldn't have done it. Nope, not happening. Not happening.
If you really want a mind-messing movie that is also a book by Stephen King is The Mist. If you haven't seen it, you get to that very end and it's just like, are you serious?
Yeah.
So
I've actually had the privilege of seeing The Mist from 2007 with Thomas Jane, if I remember correctly.
I think so.
Yeah, that one, the 2000, is it 7, Tyler? I think it might have been 2007. Yeah, he was in it. Marcia Gay Harden was also a part of that movie. Mm-hmm. Had a great cast, and then the ending shows up, and I'm like, what the frack was that all about?
I was so angry.
I was like, what the heck is this? This doesn't make any sense. They just fought for their lives, and now you're telling me it was this, that, and the other? What's the deal with this? I don't understand. Tyler, do you understand this stuff? You probably do. You probably don't, but it's okay. We still love you, buddy. I just like to throw zingers at him once in a blue moon. But no, that's a good one. Stephen King. What is one book that belongs on everyone's bookshelf?
I might be a weird one for this, but The Outsiders. It's by S.E. Hinton, and it was a book that we read in 8th grade. And then we watched the movie, and I don't know why, but something about that book has me just like in a chokehold. I feel like I have to reread that book every couple months because I just love it so much. And I definitely think that is a classic that everybody should have.
It is considered a classic of American literature, SN. You're not wrong. And I did have to read it as well. I believe it was in middle school. Same situation you were in. I think it was 8th grade, maybe 7th grade. At the time, anyway, at the time. And I remember reading certain, what do you call it, sections of the book? Because I don't remember if I read the entire thing or not, because me and books never really got along as children.
Mm.
But here's the funny thing about it, though. I would always make sure that my parents and I went to the Scholastic Book Fair at our school, and I would make them buy me all these books, and I never ended up reading. I only had them buy them for me because I liked the cover.
Oh my gosh.
I had them buy them for me because I liked the cover, SN. And the reason why was because there was this little series that came out during the mid-90s, and it was called Animorphs by K.A. Applegate. It's about a group of teenagers living in a small town who come across an alien that crash lands in their town on planet Earth and gives them the ability to transform into any animal. And they have to go up against a more evil alien that is trying to take over the world, like Pinky and the Brain. So there's a reference for everybody. So Animorphs, if you've never heard of it, I would encourage you to give it a read, give it a try. And the other thing is, there was a live action television series based off these series of books that was on SNICK, Saturday Night Nickelodeon, back in the day. Okay, this is going way back here, SN. This is going back to the late 90s when TV still had a brain cell and they had a heart and they knew what the heck they were doing. Long before The Bachelor, Bachelorette, Grey's Anatomy, and all this mushy, reality stuff took over the airwaves. So I know it's money, but if you ever get a chance, check out the television series Animorphs. I believe you can find full episodes on YouTube. Somebody ripped them and posted them on YouTube. What can I say? I don't condone all of that, by the way, but people stream it that way, and that's fine. But if you have Paramount, I think, is it Paramount Plus? It might be Paramount Plus, or maybe it's at HBO Max, one or the other. You can stream Animorphs, and I would encourage you to check it out if you're into that sort of, sci-fi mystery kind of stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. I'll definitely have to look at it.
All right. It's called Animorphs, and I believe, how do we spell it, guys? It's Animorphs. Yeah, Animorphs. Morphs, like morph? Metamorphosis. That means to change. And you know how I learned that? I learned that from Power Rangers, 1993. What's up?
Oh my gosh.
I know. Am I dating myself here? I probably am. But I take it you never saw that show growing up, did you? You never saw Power Rangers because you were so focused on becoming the New York Times best-selling author that you couldn't help it. You just had to come home and write before watching Power Rangers. Is that right?
Power Rangers and Ninja Mutant Turtles, whatever there are.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. Those two for sure were more of my brother's shows, but I did like to watch Power Rangers just to see the pink one.
Gotta give it up to Kimberly Hart, aka Johnson, aka Pterodactyl. That was her power. What can I say? That was the dinosaur that she controlled, was the pterodactyl. It's true. Look it up. It's real. It happened. And I had the privilege of meeting Amy Jo Johnson at a Comic-Con. Her first ever Comic-Con she ever did was many, 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 many moons ago in a place called Lexington, Kentucky. And it was at Lexington Comic and Toy Convention, SN. Granted, my conversation with her didn't last all that long because I had so many people in her line respectively, of course. But the conversation was good, and she answered all my questions about what it was like being on that television series known as Wildfire, about a young girl who becomes a horse racing jockey. Yeah. I don't know if anyone remembers Wildfire, but it was on ABC Family when ABC Family had a brain. And it was a very good show. They had Wildfire back in the day, and they also had a television series called Kyle XY.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that.
Yes, sir. Kyle XY. That's where we all got introduced to a very beautiful woman named Jamie Alexander, and I fell in love with her the first day I met her. Yeah, that's right, SN. I'm willing to admit it. She's one of my Hollywood, what do you call them? Hollywood crushes, I would assume. So, yeah, Jamie Alexander. No, seriously. I mean, if she's up for it, I'm more than happy to sit down and have a conversation with her, take her out to dinner, whatever. Talk to her about Kyle XY, talk to her about the TV series Blind Spot that came on a couple of years ago. I don't know if you remember Blind Spot or not, but she was in that. She was in Thor as Lady Sif. She was Lady Sif in the Thor movies. You remember Lady Sif? That was her.
Oh, wow. My gosh.
Same actress. She's grown up right before our very eyes. And she's done a great job doing it. I'm not gonna lie about it. I'm not gonna lie. I can't lie. So just throwing that out there. Now we spoke about this earlier, but I'm just curious. Do you have a favorite Star Wars movie or Star Wars character, or Star Wars really isn't your thing?
I was never a huge Star Wars person. I mean, you can never go wrong with Chewbacca, right?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, will
Right?
somebody get?
I mean, I don't know. Does that count? I'm not a
No,
huge
it does. It does.
Star Wars person.
No, it
But
counts. It's okay. It counts. Will someone get this big walking carpet out of my way? That's what Princess Leia says to him in the original movie. But which, by the way, some of the best lines were said by Princess Leia, played by Carrie Fisher. So,
mm-hmm.
I mean, if it weren't for her, I wouldn't know what a scruffy-looking nerve herder is. Do you remember that from Empire? Yeah, it happened.
Kind of.
Yeah, Han Solo and her having a little bit of a back and forth conversation, or kind of trying to, mess with each other's minds. And she says, "I don't know where you get your delusions, laser brain. Laugh it up, fuzzball." Didn't see us alone in the South Passage. He expressed her true feelings for me. Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerve herder. Who's scruffy-looking? Anyway, it's Star Wars month. What are you going to do? So, great answers, great questions, and we want to take this opportunity to say thank you so much, and I do mean this sincerely. Thank you so much to SN St. Clair for being our guest on this week's episode of Anti-Quote. SN, I hope you've enjoyed your time with us.
For sure.
Yeah, and I hope I didn't, throw you off too much with all the quotes I just randomly ended up saying. They don't call me Ryan the Quote for no reason. So.
And I quote.
Well, it is kind of what we do around here. Thank you for being here all the same. Now, if someone wants to know more about you or purchase copies of your books, where can they follow you specifically on social media?
Yeah, so I would probably say that I focus more on Facebook and then Instagram. I do also have a Threads. I'm working on building a YouTube and working on building up my TikTok. But the biggest thing would definitely be my website. Can find me at snstclair.com, and you can actually follow and find my socials directly from there. But you can also sign up for my newsletter to get VIP access, and you can also purchase my books from there. You can buy both ebook and paperback formats.
More phenomenal. Well, thank you so much for being here, and we appreciate it all the same. And stick around for us, because we're going to be talking to you here again momentarily. My name is Ryan. You can follow me across all forms of social media simply at Anti-Quote Channel. Check out our YouTube channel. We got all kinds of great videos there, all kinds of great playlists. Also, we are on the road to 5,000 subscribers on this lovely channel. And once we hit the magical number known as 5,000, we'll have a live stream that will include giveaways that you, the person who is watching or listening to this program right now, are going to be eligible to win. We also have merch that include hoodies, shirts, stickers you can add to your water bottles, coffee mugs, notepads, stationery, maybe even some notebooks that SN St. Clair can use to write her next great American novel. Because we know what's coming, SN. We know what's coming. You're going to make that New York Times bestseller list in no time. And we appreciate it all the same. But if you want to check out my short story, I wrote a short story called Wolf of the West, which is published as a part of Veritas Entertainment's Western Tales Volume 1 anthology. 16 different writers, 15 different stories. It's available on Amazon in ebook, paperback, and hardcover. Or you can visit the publisher Veritas Entertainment online at veritasent.com. So many wonderful things are in store. Don't forget that movie watch-alongs are on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And I quote is on Saturdays, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, unless otherwise specified, because sometimes we do areas of special programming here and there. So be sure to tune in for that. Do not forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, ring the bell to be notified when the videos go up or they go live. Remember, life is better when supporting indie creators from all over the world. Take a look.
Strelin of Ulia is a cursed man, and cursed men are dangerous. He has traveled the known world seeking a way to lift his curse. So far, he has not found what he is looking for. When Trellin arrives in the city of Anshi, in the nation of Paraba, he meets a cold reception. The desert nation is unforgiving. Its people have proven untrustworthy, and the locals have no love for foreigners. Now, a wealthy stranger offers to lift Trellin's curse for a price, and he must make a choice. Seek a solution elsewhere, or risk imprisonment in the Tower of Ruach, a place from whence no man has ever escaped. The known world of Atera The Prisoner of Rurak Tower. Now available on Amazon in paperback and on Kindle.
A mission for the police. A mysterious passenger. Mitch Mayhew is carrying more than the mail this flight. Unwanted Passenger is a roaring, prop-spinning, pulse-pounding historical thriller for fans of aerial stunts, flapper-era intrigue, and reluctant heroes with debts to pay and demons to outrun. Order your copy of Unwanted Passenger today.
Good morning! Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.